You're watching Ticket TV. Like, share, and subscribe on your way in.
All right, you guys. Hopefully, you guys can hear me tap in. Salute everybody, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow us on all of our platforms. Those links are going to be put in the description box below this video. And I appreciate everybody that's going to tap in. We got some updates for you guys. But make sure first y'all follow us on all of our social media outlets. In the description box below this video, you're going to see, in the description box below this video, you're going to see a lot of different links and use them all. That's to all of our social medias. That's how you can find me. For everybody who always asks, this is what it is. All right. So appreciate all of you guys. Again, it's in the description box below this video, and I'll pin it at the top of the comment section when this is over with. So Diddy, and follow us on Kick X. If you guys want your donations read live, you can hit me on Cash App, PayPal during the stream. Those links is in the description box or in the comment section as well. But let's get right into it. So Diddy is back up on the docket again as Diddy headed to. I just came in here about 2 weeks ago, and I told you guys that Diddy was going to trial for another situation, and that was the situation with the male sex worker by the name of Clayton Howard. So this is not the same one. This is a completely different one now. Now this person right here is another person that's from that trial, and Diddy is banking, I'm pretty sure, that, okay, I'll beat the Rico, I beat the sex trafficking in the trial. Now, individually, I could beat these people in trials again in court. And that's exactly what's going on. Again, y'all share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. So let me let y'all know what's going on. Basically, this woman, her name is Brianna Bongolan. She filed a $10 million civil suit against Diddy and basically accused him of sexual battery, false imprisonment, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Now, her lawsuit centers on a violent encounter that allegedly took place on or about September 26th of 2016 at the Los Angeles apartment of Diddy's former girlfriend, Cassie. Now, remember this situation, you guys. Her basically complaint and subsequent trial testimony outlined following these core allegations. Now, this was a part of the Rico. Now, remember, the judge said when he did Diddy's sentencing, and everybody was like, well, how did he do enhancements if Diddy was found not guilty of the Rico? The judge was like, hey, just because he's not found guilty of the Rico doesn't mean that the jury didn't disbelieve every allegation that was a part of the Rico. See what I'm saying? But Diddy's playing the smart game here. Diddy's saying, you know what? I'm not finna, settle with you. We're going to trial. Point blank, period. Because Diddy thinks that because he beat her in the Rico part, that he'll beat her in the other civil part. But here's the problem with the civil part. The civil part is more focused on her allegations. She'll be able to have her evidence and things outlined, and she might have learned from the last time that things happened in court going into this trial. And it's a lesser burden of proof that she has to present against Diddy. You see what I'm saying? So Diddy knows he can't take these losses. He got too much going out and not much coming in. So let's get into this. So basically, she's the woman who claimed that Diddy dangled her over that apartment building, right? In a rage. She said he burst into the apartment in a rage, grabbed her by her armpits from behind, held her over the 17th-story balcony railing, and threatened her life, right? Basically, she alleged that he violently threw her into patio furniture, leaving her with severe bruises and physical pain. And also, she alleged that Diddy aggressively cornered her on separate occasions, including a photo shoot where he allegedly told her, or he got close to her face and told her, I'm the devil, I'll bleep you. And also she stated that, she endured ongoing professional and emotional abuse while collabing with Diddy on creative projects. And she found, she says she still suffers from paranoia and severe night terrors because of the situation with Diddy. Now let's take a look at this article right here. This article is up right now. As you guys can see, pretty much this article's up right now. It says right here, it says, Diddy staring down yet another trial, and this one dates back to a terrifying night in 2016 as a federal court in Los Angeles is now moving towards a civil trial in a lawsuit filed by Brianna Bongolan. Now it goes on to say that she is a creative. I hate when that does that to the screen. It does a Harlem Shake. It says she is a creative director and close friend of Cassie Ventura, who served as a government star witness against Diddy. Bongolan claims that Diddy barged into Cassie's Los Angeles apartment, dangled her body over the edge of a 17th floor balcony, and she says that he held her over that railing about 10 to 15 seconds before throwing her onto patio furniture. Now, uh, she alleged that, and we'll get to this part right here. The September 2, 2016 attack left her with bruises, uh, back pain, and trauma that haunted her for years afterwards. Now, she also already told her story publicly at Diddy's criminal trial back in June of 2025, right? And it says her testimony stopped the courtroom cold. She described night terrors so severe that she would wake up screaming in her sleep on a regular basis. Before she even took the stand, she invoked the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, and the judge had to issue an immunity warning, or order, I should say. Basically, so she couldn't incriminate herself because she said that she was doing some things like, she said she was doing drugs and stuff like that, with them. So Diddy's defense came hard at her in the cross-examine, suggesting that she was a heavy drug user who was high during the attack. She denied every bit of it. Told the court that her reason for being there was simple. She wanted justice for what happened to her. Now, the case is now on a track towards a trial date of May the 3rd of next year. So a lot of these Diddy trial dates is coming up for next year, you guys. It says the defendant's name in the filing is Diddy personally, Bad Boy Entertainment LLC, his corporate entity CEOPCO LLC. Diddy's own lawyers noted in the filing that this is April 2028 release date could create some serious scheduling problems for his trial. And if the case goes all the way to trial, it could be Diddy's third time sitting in front of a jury. He already went through a criminal trial in Manhattan in federal court, which began in May 2025 and ended in a conviction. And the jury found him guilty on 2 counts of transporting people across state lines for prostitution under the Mann Act. Judge Armed Submarinian sentenced him to 50 months in prison along with a $500,000 fine. He also added 5 years supervised release to that sentence. Now, Diddy sits at Fort Dix right now. He's at Fort Dix prison, right? With a projected release date of April the 15th, 2028. Now, his second trial is already building steam, and that's against Clayton Howard, the guy I told y'all, the sex worker that everybody was saying he came out and he accused Cassie. Well, he's going to court against Diddy. He's going to court against Diddy. So it says that case is coming too, and that case is going to trial as well. And that's going to be funny how everybody took the word of him when he said it about Cassie. Everybody was like, "Yeah, man, hey, he said Cassie." Okay, so they're going to take the word of him when he goes against Diddy too, because he's going to trial against Diddy in court. He's going to trial against Diddy in court. So they're gonna take the same word he said about Cassie. Are they gonna take that same word? Or was he lying about Diddy and telling the truth about Cassie? See, this is the part we gotta figure out right here. See what I'm saying? So, anyways, Howard is a former escort who claims that Diddy and Cassie dragged him to years of paid freak-off sessions and left him with nothing. Diddy filed for a formal jury demand in California in that federal case. Diddy is locked up appealing his conviction and staring down 2 more civil trials from a prison cell in New Jersey. Now, let's get into this, because this is very, very, very important part right here. And this is a part that we didn't even really, touch the way we supposed to. Well, not this. Let's go back to the other one first. And that is this girl. Let's go into this.
On the same day, Sean Diddy Combs was denied bail by another federal judge again. He was slapped with another.
Y'all let me know if y'all can hear that when I played that. Let me know in the comment section. If you guys can hear that when I played it in the comment section, press 1. Let me just get a quick mic check to let me know that you guys can hear that in the comments. If you guys can hear that in the comment section, let me know, man, because we're going to get into this one right here. Because they even did a video about this on Law and Crime, and this is the one, this is the one that's going to trial right here with Diddy and on May the 7th, 2027.
Another lawsuit, this one for $10 million. The plaintiff in this case is a friend of Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, and she's seeking $10 million in damages from the embattled music mogul. Fashion designer and photographer Brianna Bongolan, also known as Vanna, filed her lawsuit last week in Los Angeles Superior Court, accusing the Bad Boy Records founder of sexual battery and dangling her off a 17th-story balcony. The balcony incident was briefly mentioned in Cassie's now settled federal lawsuit against Combs. However, she didn't mention her friend by name. The singer claimed in the middle of her 29th birthday, Combs pressured her to leave a party to go to a freak-off. According to Cassie's lawsuit, after the freak-off, she and Combs went back to the hotel room where Cassie's friends were already hanging out. Cassie alleged the mogul was severely intoxicated and at one point picked up her friend like a child and dangled her off the 17th-story balcony of the hotel suite. Cassie and her friends were terrified by Combs's behavior, but according to the suit, she was so heavily sedated.
Now, let me stop that right there. I forgot to tell y'all. So also Diddy has a lot of different things coming up, man. He's got a lot of different trials that are going to be coming up. Remember, Diddy still got probably 50 or 60 different lawsuits out here against him. So is he going to go to trial against every single one that he doesn't get thrown out? So it was around, bro. He had close to 100 against him, bro. So if y'all really think about this, you had close to 100. And y'all smash the like button, share the video, like the videos, y'all come on in. If you had close to 100 lawsuits against you, and now you're looking at, you're saying, you probably got a few. I've seen he probably got like 7 or 8 thrown out. Right? But at least 50 of them may go to court if they don't settle out. Bro, and then you're locked up. You don't really got money coming in like you want. So now you got to fight these cases with lawyers, and you're trying not to lose these cases. And the people are forgetting that the thing with the civil cases is it's a lesser burden. Now, celebrities have had luck lately in these civil cases. They've been going to trial. We already saw Cardi B go to trial. She won her civil case. Cardi B's won 2 civil. Well, actually, she won a case that was against her, and then she won the case that she filed against somebody else. But you also had recently Stephon Diggs. He took it to trial. He won. Then that chef is out here now trying to drop all types of receipts now that she should have been dropping during the trial. She dropping more information and evidence now than she was dropping during the trial. She was up there looking. They blitzed her on that stand. She was looking crazy as hell. And I thought that Stephon Diggs that dude had a great lawyer. His lawyer knew exactly where to get at her at. And that's exactly what the Stephon Diggs lawyer did. But now this situation with Diddy is a whole new level of a situation now, because you got to think this dude ain't going to just be 1 or 2, right? You thinking about potentially 30 to 50 trials, right? Think about what I'm saying to y'all. So these are all the things that's going on. Now let's keep going.
By the drug she took to participate in the freak-off, that she was unable to respond to the terrifying behavior. Now, a little more than a year after her jaw-dropping lawsuit was filed and settled within a day, we're learning more details from the incident in Bongolan's lawsuit. According to court documents obtained by Rolling Stone, the incident happened on or about September 26 of 2016. Bongolan says she became close with Cassie 2 years prior while the two worked together at an LA store in 2014. And through Cassie, that's how Bongolan met Sean Combs. According to the suit, she believed Combs could offer once-in-a-lifetime opportunities to collaborate with him and his business, but she claims it only led to terror and abuse at his hands. She claims she began to see disturbing signs of an abusive relationship between Cassie and Diddy, including the mogul allegedly calling Cassie's phone repeatedly if she didn't answer his calls, and showing up unannounced to her apartment while accusing others of trying to sleep with his then girlfriend. According to the lawsuit, there were several instances she saw Cassie covered in bruises or with a black eye, which Cassie said allegedly came from Combs. But
now that's going to be the part right there where it's going to be hard for Diddy, because I'm pretty sure she's going to try to call. If she doesn't, she's going to try to call Cassie as a character witness in this case. This is what's going to destroy her right here. I mean, destroy Diddy, in my opinion, because this is Cassie's best friend at the time. And remember, she came and testified for Cassie at Cassie's trial. So you don't think Cassie's going to turn around and go and testify for her? Oh, you better believe that's what's going to happen. She's definitely going to go turn around and testify for Cassie Ventura. And that's going to be a problem for Diddy, because Diddy already has admitted to violence in that criminal case. And they're going to bring that up. They're going to bring up in the civil trial. People, what I'm telling y'all, they're going to bring up in the civil trial that Diddy's lawyer said in the criminal case, he is a very violent man and he admits to the violence. They're going to use that quote against Diddy. And I don't think Diddy's thinking about that. But this woman is accusing him of assault, not sexual, physical. And that's the problem, is that Diddy admitted to a lot of physical assault and abuse in court. His lawyers admitted to that, right? So they can use that, and they will use those statements against him and say, look, this dude's a very violent dude. This proof that he was violent with a lot of people. But his lawyer said, hey, that doesn't equivalate to sex trafficking and things like that. You know, that's domestic violence. Well, she's suing Diddy for alleged assault. So that's going to be a hard hurdle, because remember, the bar is lower in civil cases, and she's suing this nigga for $10 million. So think about this. This is one person. If this one person gets 10 million off Diddy, imagine what's going to happen. This man got probably about 40, 50 other lawsuits that's going to be coming out, that's still out there. He's got lawsuits. If you go look in the system, he's got lawsuits lined up in that system. Then he still has a criminal investigation going on in Los Angeles with the LA Sheriff's Department, with the dude Jonathan Hay that said that Diddy put his nuts in his mouth and made him, you know, touch it or not. Let's keep going.
Golan claims she was present during an explosive fight where Combs allegedly threw a large kitchen knife at Cassie, who, while acting in self-defense, threw one back at him. Bongolan claims the Bad Boy Records founder then began directing his rage at her. She claims during a photo shoot for Cassie, Combs allegedly cornered the fashion designer and was inches from her face and threatened her. He allegedly told her, "I'm the mother effing devil. You have no idea what I could do to you. I could kill you." Bongolan reportedly took that threat seriously. According to court documents, she knew firsthand that the producer was a violent man, referencing what she had seen in the relationship between him and Cassie, as well as learning that Combs was allegedly responsible for blowing up rapper Kid Cudi's car for being interested in Cassie. Bongolan also claimed she had heard rumors Combs had once skinned a rival's dog. According to her lawsuit, everything culminated.
Did y'all hear? Hold on. Did y'all hear that? Time out. Let's stop that right there. Hold on. Did y'all hear that? Lord Jesus. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Smash the like button. This is crazy information that's in this paperwork that the general public, we didn't even hear about this in the trial. She said that there's even reports and rumors that Diddy skinned a rival's dog. That's crazy. Hold on, let me play it again for y'all. That's the first time I ever heard that. Is diabolical. Let me play that again.
That Combs was allegedly responsible for blowing up rapper Kid Cudi's car for being interested in Cassie. Bongolan also claimed she had heard rumors Combs had once skinned a rival's dog. According to her lawsuit, everything culminated around September 26th of 2016. Bongolan says she and her girlfriend were sleeping over.
And that's the crazy part, because remember, if you go back to the trial, let me rewind that a little bit more. Go back to the trial, you guys. If y'all remember in the trial, the situation with Kid Cudi, remember when Kid Cudi said that his dog was permanently affected from what happened with Diddy? That's wild, bro. That's wild. That's the first thing I thought about. That's wild right there. Because remember, he said that they did something. He said they did something to his dog, and his dog wasn't the same no more. That's diabolical work, man. If that's, man, listen, if that's true, that he did all that to them. To the other one too, what they say, he's, bro, Lord have mercy.
For Kid Cudi's car for being interested in Cassie. Bongolan also claimed she had heard rumors Combs had once skinned a rival's dog. According to her lawsuit, everything culminated around September 26th of 2016. Bongolan says she and her girlfriend were sleeping over at Cassie's LA apartment. She claims she woke up to Combs violently shouting and banging on Cassie's front door. Bongolan says she told her girlfriend to hide in the bathroom and lock the door. And Combs allegedly barged into the apartment while Bongolan was on the apartment's balcony. She claims Combs grabbed her and groped her breast as she tried to fight him off and yelled at him to leave her alone. Combs then allegedly grabbed her by the armpits and lifted her up on the banister of the 17th floor balcony and repeatedly yelled, "Do you know what the F you did? Do you know what the F you did?" She says she struggled to get back on the ground and claims she was overpowered by Combs as she only stood about 5 feet tall, weighing less than 100 pounds. According to the suit, he immediately lifted her up higher and higher over the 17th floor balcony, with Combs's grip keeping her from falling to her death. She says Cassie, who was locked in her bedroom, ran out onto the balcony and screamed at Combs to stop, and told him Bongolan's girlfriend was also in the apartment and could overhear what was happening. The lawsuit claims that because Combs recognized that there were so many witnesses to the assault, he pulled Bongolan back over the balcony. But he didn't release her. Bongolan says in a last fit of violence, the mogul slammed her onto the balcony's patio furniture, including a table. According to the suit, Bongolan's attorney says, quote, the only purpose of dangling someone over a balcony is to actually kill them or to intentionally terrorize them and rob them of any concept of dominion over their own bodily autonomy and safety. Miss Bongolan refuses to allow this fear to control the rest of her life and brings this action to demand that Mr. Combs takes responsibility for the trauma he
And here's the thing. Diddy's going to have a hard time convincing people he ain't violent. His lawyer said it in court. His lawyers use that he is violent to get off of the Rico and to get off the sex trafficking. How are they going to then say, well, he wasn't violent in this case to get off of $10 million? Man, I want y'all to really think about this. Y'all smash the like button and subscribe as y'all come in here. Think about what I'm saying to everybody right now as we're just listening to what's going on. Think about this. This is diabolical work. So his lawyers have already, and they're going to use that. You better believe they're going to use that in his criminal trial. His lawyers admitted that he is a very violent man, and they admit to the violence. She's suing Diddy for violence, not for sexual assault. She's suing that nigga for violence. He gonna have a hard time in this case, and the bar is lower to prove. And when Cassie goes up there, because Cassie was there, so she'd have been a witness. She said Cassie saw this. When Cassie goes up there and testifies, tell y'all right now, man. Diddy better hope he got one of them juries. But here's the thing, in civil court again, and the fact that he admitted to the violence, that's gonna hurt them. That they admitted to the violence. You understand what I'm saying? Straight up, man. Let's keep going.
Intentionally and maliciously inflicted. Meanwhile, as Combs sits in a federal detention center in Brooklyn, New York, he denies Bongolan's allegations. According to his lawyers, anyone has the right to file a lawsuit, regardless of the evidence they may or may not have. Since last year, Ms. Bongolan has expressed an intention to sue Mr. Combs and has sought legal representation to pursue her claims. Mr. Combs firmly denies these serious allegations and remains confident they will ultimately be proven baseless. Another Sean Diddy Combs lawsuit, and of course, lots to break down. I'm joined by criminal defense attorney Safa Robinson Ferrer. Safa, always great to see you. There's a lot of terrifying details in this lawsuit. While Combs denies the allegations, what's your reaction to Brianna Bongolan's claims?
They were very shocking to an extent, but in other ways, very not surprising here. This lawsuit echoes a lot of the claims that we've heard throughout the country and throughout the past year of allegations of violence by Mr. Combs or at the hands of Mr. Combs to other individuals. I think what's interesting about this particular case is that this individual is allegedly a friend of Cassie Ventura, Mr. Combs' ex-girlfriend. So in my mind, as I'm listening to this, I think this lawsuit may have a little bit more teeth than some of the others do, considering the nature of the relationship between the individuals, and that this third-party person or witness, assumingly witness, would be Ms. Ventura, who previously filed a lawsuit against Mr. Combs alleging violence and settled that case about a year ago at this point. So this one, I think, is certainly heightening with respect to the allegations again, but who the individual is that's filing suit here. And this is someone that is in some way has been connected to Mr. Combs directly.
We're only scratching the surface of this shocking lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs, but I want to quickly thank our amazing sponsors that help.
Now, she said they only shocking the surface. That's crazy that she says they're only shocking the surface of this, you guys. Hold on, let's fast forward a little bit. She said they're only scratching the surface. So that means there's even more claims within this lawsuit. That's diabolical, man. And me personally, I don't care who it is. I don't care you white, you black. Listen, man, keep your hands off people, man. That's just how I feel, man. I feel like a woman should not be putting her hands on a man, and a man should be putting his hands on a woman. That's what I feel like, man. I stand on that. If you got any type of morals, ethics, honor, dignity, and respect about yourself, you that would mean something to you too, right? It doesn't matter to me that this woman is this or that woman is that. Nah, man, don't do that shit, bro. Because that bad energy come back around you, right? We saw on tape. We would have never, think about this. If we would have never saw the tape with Cassie, nobody would have believed Cassie got beat. They were, bro, Cassie was getting absolutely demonized. I'm talking about demolished before that CNN tape came out. Think about what I just said to y'all. Now, here's the one thing everybody never thought about. What if there are other tapes that are out there that we never seen? Hotel tape. What are there other tapes that were out there? People might have held anything. Might have used to get money. Bro, listen, anything's possible, man. You know, and Diddy, he's saying he's innocent. He's saying these charges are false. These allegations are false. But hey, man, as you guys see it, and as we see it right here, let's get into it. See what she says.
Homes. But one thing that stood out to me was the differences in the dates. Now, in Cassie's lawsuit, she claims that the incident took place in 2015 at a hotel suite. In Bongolan's lawsuit, she claims it happened in 2016 at Cassie's apartment. But Cassie claims she was heavily sedated because of the drugs she took to participate in the freak-offs. Do the locations and the dates make any type of difference when it comes to these lawsuits?
And before she answered that, let me get my answer because I don't see what she said. Here's the thing about this. You guys got to understand this. Something that happened many years ago. Think about this, you guys. Can you remember everything that happened on an exact date 10 years ago? Does anybody here? Because see, you guys, we will all crucify people when they get on the stand and they don't remember every specific detail. But here's the thing. You can tell when people aren't coached because some people, let me give you an example. If I give one person a story, by the time it gets to this 8th person, the whole story has changed. It's not the same story. This is how our world works. This is the same thing that's on here right now. I can be saying one thing right now, and 10 people perceive what I'm saying differently. This is the world we live in. People, what I'm telling y'all right now, this is the world that we live in right now. Sir, I don't care about the NBA no more. You keep asking me, sir. I'm not doing the NBA no more. Please leave me alone about that. All right? Thank you. So, as I said to you guys, and I'll say it again to you guys, right? Once again, how many times do you think a story can pass 10 people and the story be exactly the same as what it was told? Not going to be. So we got to take that into consideration. Also, you can't really remember every single thing that happens. I can't remember what happened 3 weeks ago right now on the exact day. It could have been something that was absolutely, I can remember vague details of it. Everybody doesn't have a sharp memory like that. They might remember key details about what happened, but they might not remember all the small details. So if you got an experienced lawyer, they get you on the stand, they can make you like a damn fool. They can say, oh, well, I thought you said this. I thought you said that word. I thought you said that word. And then confuse you, make you look bad. And then the whole world being a bunch of dummies say, oh, you're lying. You're this, you're that, you're third. You might be telling the truth. This is the world we live in, bro. You got to have brains. You have to have a crucial, extensive thought process is what you have to have. And a lot of people don't have it. They don't have a process of thinking that says, you know what, let me think on another level. They stuck in their one level of thinking. And that's the problem. So when Cassie says, hey, I thought it happened on this date. Guess what? Guess what that shows? That they don't have the exact same details. It shows that they weren't coaching each other for the same details. Because the thing I would be concerned about is if 2 people came to me and they had the exact everything down to a T, like they coerce and coach this story. See, human error has to come into play. These are all facts. This is a fact of life, right? So you have to remember that everybody's different. Not everybody remembers that. Some of these people were doing drugs. They don't remember half the stuff that was going on. You heard what Future Song say, I don't know what day it is. Future said, I can't remember what day it is. on the new track where Drake ran to Atlanta. He said, I can't remember what day it is. I've been on so many pills. Like, what? See what I'm saying? So, yeah, you got to think about it in that aspect. That's why I tell you, a lot of people don't have critical thinking skills, right? So that's why that's like that. Now, let's go to this. This is what happens when you're using all them drugs and stuff. It fries your mind. You don't even remember your right foot from your left. Let's keep going.
Suits.
Hit the like button.
They're absolutely going to make a difference. One of the things that they're going to have to prove or show is on a particular time, date, and place, and at a particular location, these things occurred. And if there's conflicting stories or if there's a conflict between the dates, much more significantly, years that we're discussing and locations, that's definitely going to be something that either the jury is going to pay attention.
That's true, but you also have to pay attention to this and have to have a brain. When you're in that lifestyle, you'll be so many places with people. Think about the lifestyle they was living and how many different places you were with people. You might not remember everywhere everything happened. So you have to take all this into it. That's why you have to have intelligent people on these juries. You can't be stupid. You have to be intelligent. Because if you're intelligent, you have brains, you process and understand information differently. And the average person don't. The average person don't have brains like that. They don't think intelligently. And they're not thinking 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 steps ahead. So if you are, you would think, okay, this woman's heavily drugged. They've always been traveling all over the place. They've seen so many different people. They might not have every single date or year. You might say, when did that happen? In 2015, 2016? I think that happened in 2016. Oh, I can't remember. Right? Straight up. Straight up. Because here's the reason why. At the time, and this is the problem that the victims are going to run into problems with too, that if they're telling the truth, is that at the time you weren't intending to take action, so you didn't think about it. Only years later, when you felt like it was safe, when the coast was clear, that you could come out, now you want to, so when you go back, it's foggy. Everything isn't 100%, in your memory, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got a photogenic memory. Some people have a photogenic memory where they can remember every single detail of everything that happened on a date, on a time. Not everybody's like that. You see that in class every day in the schools. You see that in college. If everybody was like that, everybody be passing. Everybody has straight A's. Think about what I'm saying to y'all. A lot of people don't think like this. Right? So what I'm saying to you is if you don't have that level of thinking, then boom. The lawyers do. Those people that get to the top 10%, 5%, they do. That's why they're able to make people look crazy on a stand and make them look like they're lying. I can take a person that's telling the truth and make them look like a damn liar on a stand if I'm a great lawyer. Because all I got to do is get into details and make them look bad about certain details, and they done. And everybody that's out here, they don't think like that. They're going to think, oh, look at this piece of shit lying. This is because they don't have critical thinking skills. Our world has been dumbed down. Our world has been dumbed down because now you don't have to really process information that much. They got all kind of stuff that help process it for you. You don't think how you used to have to think no more. Right? Think about what I'm saying to y'all. It's a completely different situation now. Right? I can guarantee you that if you are what? Let me think. 35, 40, 45, 50 or over, school is way harder for you than it is for these youth now. Way harder than it is for the youth now. With all the resources these youth got now, that's crazy. Imagine if you had this when y'all was growing up. People be applying past tests so easy, wouldn't even be funny. Think about what I'm saying to y'all. Back then, you really had to go home and study. You didn't have all these tools and stuff. Like you had a calculator. Remember this. You had like a graphics calculator. You had to learn all this stuff. Math. What they call it, y'all? I forget what the hell they call it. All different types of math. I forget what they call it. Algebra, all this other shit. Think about that. C squared plus 8. All this. Come on, man. Right? So think about what I'm saying to y'all. You had to really learn back then. Now, they got so much aid and assistance and help. Man, ain't no reason why these kids shouldn't be passing these classes with fine color. So I think people need to really understand that and understand the aspect of what I'm saying and what I'm bringing forth to the table, right? Let me see who this is. Xavier, salute to you, brother, in the Cash App, the donation. I appreciate it, dog. Yeah, I told the brother, man. You know what I'm saying? I told him. Salute to you, brother. I appreciate you for that donation. Much love. So yeah, as I told you guys, and I'll continue to say this again and again and again and again. Now let's keep going, right? Let's keep going.
To if it makes it to trial, or that's certainly going to be what we call an issue of fact that is ultimately going to have to be determined at some point. This is certainly going to go to the credibility of the plaintiff's case here.
And well, that's not going to go to her credibility, because if she said a date or around a date, because remember, the judge talked about this during Diddy's trial as well. The judge brought this up specifically. Orange Submarinian. He talked about this during Diddy's trial. And he said, hey, you guys are arguing about her exact date. That girl was on so much drugs. See, the judge was so intelligent. His intelligence overlapped a lot of these dummies out here. Let me repeat myself again. Judge Orange Submarinian was so intelligent. His intelligence overlapped a lot of these dummies. So when he was saying stuff, when they was trying to say, oh, man, look at her, judge, she got the days wrong. The judge say, hold on, man. This woman was on all kind of drugs, right? Going through traumatic situations. He understands the effects of this stuff. A lot of people don't. So while he gets it, the average everyday person doesn't. They don't want to hear no excuses. They don't understand this life unless they've been in it. Right? So go back and read those transcripts from the trial. You'll see that. He said that. So she's going to get past that easy in a civil trial. Because she did come out and admit how much drugs and stuff she was on. How hooked she was on certain things. You guys got to remember this. All this stuff makes sense. Let's keep going.
The things that will be viewed is, the time, the date, and the place. And if ultimately the evidence can show that on that particular occasion, this occurred. Now, maybe something in Cassie's lawsuit or prior lawsuit might come up and negate that. Miss Ventura could ultimately be a witness on this case if this case made it to trial as well.
And how significant could these claims be, especially in Combs's federal trial? Do you expect Bongolan could be called as a witness in this case by the government?
Now, so when they talk about the Cassie being called as a witness, that's what I told y'all, man. Cassie being called as a witness, man. That situation right there is, to me, that's going to be what does it, in my opinion. Because she's a witness, and I believe that Diddy admitting to violence in the court, and this woman's not accusing him of sexual assault. She's accusing him of physical violence. So yeah, I believe that's this case right here makes it different. Now, the situation with Clayton Howard, he's got a whole different situation. Diddy's got a whole bunch of shit that he got to fix, that he got popping out, yo. He got a whole bunch of shit he got popping out. A whole bunch of shit. So he got to take care of a whole different level of things. You guys, y'all smash the like button, man. Make sure y'all follow us on X. Y'all can get the Cash App. Again, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Y'all already know this. All the links will be in the description box below this video, and I'm going to pin it at the top of the comment section. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. This woman, she's not accusing Diddy of sexual assault. She's accusing him of physical assault. This is the girl who said he hung her over that 16th floor balcony. Now, do you guys believe that Diddy was capable of doing that? Or do you guys believe that Diddy did that? He denies it, but do you believe he did that? Let me know that in the comments. Do you believe that Diddy did this physical violence? It's going to be funny. His defenders are going to say, nah, I don't believe it, even though he admitted to the violence in the actual trial to get him off the sex trafficking. And they seen the nigga beating the shit out of the girl on tape viciously. Like I said, scumbag piece of shit. Point blank period, bro. It doesn't matter to me. If he's black, white, you doing that shit, man, I'm going to call your ass out. Point blank period, man. Right? Because there need to be accountability on all levels. You can't play this little punk ass game, because all it does is take our world into circles of the same shit. You don't get ahead. You don't advance ahead as a people until you start calling this bullshit out on all levels. Right? That's why that weak ass little boy over there, Myron, if his real name is Gaines, if that's his real name, Gaines, over there capping for a stone cold racist and Chud the Builder. If he doing all that capping, why he don't take his ass over there and pay that man's lawyer? Pay his lawyer fee. Pay his lawyer. Y'all over here talking all this shit, getting followed, subscribed, all this shit online off that case. But you know that weak ass lawyer you had on your show, he ain't gonna take the case pro bono. Since he believes so much in that case and he thinks that Chud needs a good lawyer, tell him take his ass down there and take the case pro bono for that stone cold racist. And watch him get his ass chop suey in court because you can't beat the video, Jack. And Myron, if that's his real name, Gaines, tell him to go down there, all that money made from Fresh and Fit, tell him to take his ass down there and pay that man's bail. Since you believe in him so much, since they'll never break you and these are your social liberties and all this other shit, take your ass down there and pay that racist bail then. Pay his bond. Pay his bond. Stop doing that talking and pay his bond. Period. I don't want to hear that shit. You come on here hooting and hollering and screaming and crying, all this contradiction ass nigga. Like I said before, he gonna tell black folks they can't control their selves, and there's a whole goddamn collage of videos of this dude acting a fool off words. Then when they put this in his face, he want to move the goalpost and talk about something else. Y'all some sick dudes. So go on down there. You got two options. You can put the whole $1 million up and bail that racist out. Or you can go to a bail's bondman, pay him $100,000, but then you got to put your assets up. And you lose that $100,000 to the bail bondsman. You willing to do that? See, all them dudes is talking. They out here talking all this shit. And Myron, he talk about how he got his money shit. Do that shit. You got that bread, nigga. Y'all made all that money over them years in Fresh and Fit. Pay his bail, nigga. Since you believe in that shit, stand on business. Capping ass. Like I said before, though, these dudes are disgusting, man. Again, bro. And again, you ain't gonna beat that tape. What's on that tape is on that damn tape. You not finna beat that tape, Playboy. And that's facts. You not finna beat that tape. Right? So again, in the courthouse down there in Tennessee, they got the tape. You think they lied when they put it in that paperwork? You trying to convince everybody that they lied about what's on videotape. So they just can hold him in jail and they got the tape. And they showed the tape to a judge who signed off on his warrant. Right? And then think about this. The other dude ain't even been charged. The black dude, they keep talking about Chud is innocent. If he's innocent, why the black dude ain't been charged with assault? See how easy it is to beat these dudes? They easy to beat. Ask them, if the black dude attacked Chud first, hitting on him, wailing on him, putting him in a headlock, why hasn't he been charged with assault? Because he didn't. He was the one that was in self-defense. Not according to me, according to the video. And it was 12 videos, boy. It was 12 videos, boy. It was 12 videos. So that's why the brother has not been charged. Because they have the video. And here's the thing. Ask yourself this question. Why didn't Chud press charges on the black guy? You can't press charges on a guy that you draw down on first or you reach for your gun on first. Can't do it. Sorry. And I don't want to hear about, oh, well, he said this. Don't mean shit. Y'all the ones who said words don't mean nothing. So y'all say that the white people are supposed to be able to say the N-word with the hard ER and that it should not mean nothing. So whatever that black man said to Chud, as long as he didn't put his hands on him, it shouldn't mean nothing, right, Chud? Right, Myron, if that's your real name, Gaines, he should have had enough self-control to just walk away. Because that's what he tell black folks. He go up to black folks, call black folks the N-word with the hard ER, walk off, and then tell them, you know what I'm saying? Hey, follow me, dude. Come on. Right? And then they say something back to him. He said, oh, look at you, man. See, you can't control your emotions. You're chipping out. That's what he says. So what he doing? What he doing? Stone cold. Hey, people out here defending, and this is a grift. That's all it is. To defend a stone cold racist. That's all there's to it. And when he go to prison, they ain't gonna do nothing. Sit up here crying their ass again. crying there and ain't gonna do shit about it. That people don't donate all that money he ain't gonna be able to use. He ain't gonna be able to use. And he get convicted, he really screwed. Which he is. Which he is. So yeah, y'all see, ain't nobody took their ass down there. They was leaking who they thought was gonna do it, and then it came out some crazy information about that group, who they thought was gonna go down there and do that, pay that dude's bail, right? Then some crazy information came out about them, and now all of a sudden we ain't heard nothing about his bail. He gonna be in there until the 26th. On the 26th, on next Tuesday, they're gonna show evidence against this racist in court, and I'm gonna sit back here and laugh my ass off because I want to hear Myron, if that's his real name, Gaines, come out here and defend the evidence. Come out here and grip some more. You and that fake ass lawyer, wannabe. He's supposed to be licensed a real lawyer, but he doesn't practice in certain court. He only gives advice. Or tell him stop giving advice and take your ass down there to the courthouse and do his case pro bono. You trying to win a case in the court of public opinion? That's not gonna happen, Playboy. They got the videotape, homie. So take your ass down there and watch the videotape, sucker. And then you had a lying dude, a Chinese dude came out there lying his ass out talking about he's seen the tape. They ain't even play the tape in court. That was a bond hearing. Talking about, oh, I seen the tape right now, man, and that dude attacked him first. You're a liar. They've already put in the affidavit that before the dude even hit Chud was drawn down on that weapon in a bland stance. So you're lying. People just lying just for a follow. It's disgusting. Then you got a whole race war breaking out here. And I'm talking about that on the podcast show. After this, I will be putting up clips of the podcast show tonight and tomorrow. If y'all not subscribed to the podcast show. And I'm going to show y'all. This fool has started a race war out here. Ever since this stuff with Chud blew up, all these people trying to be copycats. You got a whole rack of people walking around here in Tennessee right now, straight racist, causing scenes, fighting people in the streets. I can't play the video on YouTube. I'm going to play it on the podcast show. And we're going to talk about that on my podcast show. That's coming out. I'm working on that as soon as I get off this video right here. So make sure y'all subscribe to the podcast, and I will put a link to that in the description box below this video. If I could do those videos on here, I'd do it on here. But the nature of those videos and everything that's being said, I can't do it on YouTube. But they've started a race war. You're seeing people getting in fights in the grocery stores now. You're seeing the people getting in fights over the streets now, over this N-word. You're seeing outright blatant disrespect now. He has opened the door. This is another reason why he has to go to prison for a long time. You got to start sending a message to these weasels. Because if not, once again, it's going to be a full-blown race war, and he would have started it once again with this dumb shit going viral. And I have at least 15 videos lined up to prove what I'm saying. And when you see it, it will absolutely make you say, man, this shit is crazy. They had to have a pack of at least 8 or 9 people walking around with that you know what flag that start with the N-word and end with the I. That's right. Racist as hell. And it's walking the streets of Tennessee, harassing people. Talking about, hey, it's my freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Like, share, subscribe, man. Salute everybody, support the channel, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Holler at me, man. I'll be in the podcast tonight. Y'all see the post going up straight like that.
Hey, we always appreciate the support, and if you guys want to do so, you can use the Cash App or PayPal links. They'll be in the description box below this video or pinned at the top of the comments. The top donators will be announced every month. All right, you guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all cop the merch, and make sure that you get the weight loss formula. The links to that will be in the description box below this video. Check out our next video coming up right now.